Welcome back to Bangkok Chit Chat. Today we've got our Hua Hin report with Richard Buckle. So let's just see what's happening down in Hua Hin at the moment. So Richard, welcome back. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Nice to be back, and always good to talk with you, Andrew.
Yeah,
it's a fine sunny day and a little bit of cloud, a couple of little showers, very windy. You can see the trees blowing behind me and things. So I'm at the regular coffee shop.
Okay, no, I was going to wonder. I wondered where you are.
It's a great place to be based. So things have been pretty busy down here. I mean, we've had quite a good few weeks. I think there's been a lot more activity really around the streets and in the shops and the restaurants, most of which are still struggling quite a bit. But there's a lot more activity. Generally, people are trying to get out there and try and return to semi-normal again, which is really terrific. And there are a couple of new restaurants and places that have opened that are looking really fantastic. There's one I went to the other day called Flavors, just on the main road. And you walk in there and it could be a bar restaurant in Hong Kong or Singapore. It's a really cool place. So there are one or two people that have been able to take an opportunity out of the downside because they've either had some financial backing or whatever and been able to try new things. So that's really good. Also, a place called La Grappa, which was extremely popular here until a couple of years ago, until really COVID. That used to be down in Bintabat. Now La Grappa was an Italian restaurant, quite sort of 4 or 5 star, really good quality food. And the owner's been out here in Thailand, a Swedish gentleman, been out here for about as long as I have, so that's going back a way bit. And the whole Bintabat area, which is where all the bars were and things, you have this kind of unusual 5-star restaurant on the side of it all.
Right.
But that whole area now is almost completely desolate and closed, including La Grappa's restaurant. And there's been a lot of, I guess, sort of rumor and speculation as what they're going to do with that area. So that area is down past the Hilton Hotel, down towards the coast area, where all the beach restaurants used to be out on the piers. Those are all closed now. And so we've not really been able to ascertain exactly what's going to happen down there. You know, some people think they're going to smarten it up and make it into a nice walkway and redo it up, and others think they're going to tear the whole thing down and put in some sort of shopping tourist area.
Is this a government thing? Is this a government thing like they did in Pattaya, where they were basically saying they were encroaching and they ripped them down, or is this because of COVID?
Well, there's been a bit of the encroachment story, yes, but one suspects there are other reasons behind the scenes that are not really being made that public, perhaps political or whatever. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens over the next year or so, and see whether that area does become developed or not, because it's fairly hush-hush about why, and more people are asking questions. So it is interesting. One day the door will open and we'll find out.
All right. What about the general? Is it quite upbeat in Hua Hin just now?
Yeah, it is. As I was saying, some of the restaurants are doing okay, the shops are doing okay, but still a lot have already closed. But I just think really at the end of the day they need to get tourism back. And this is the main thing, isn't it? Just to get the main tourists back into this region. So there's been this drive, as you know, to develop the area all the way down this beach area and call it the Thai Riviera. And so some people call it Royal Coast, some people call it Thai Riviera. I think it's really more of a government stamp, government thing, the Thai Riviera idea.
Right.
Because that plan really was to look from Phetchaburi all the way down, down the Chitchat, which is on the other side. So that's a vast area, 500-600 kilometers stretch. probably, I would say, a bit too much to be managed and promoted all in one go. But that would obviously take in Samui, of course, which is obviously a very popular area. So I think this Thai Riviera idea will go. The other thing that's similar is the We Love Hua Hin campaign, which
original name, yeah.
Kind of put on. We Love Hua Hin. It's been like a hashtag and a very popular slogan around town for the last year or so. But even that has sort of taken a step back, really, for the next few weeks, I think, while the government decide, are they going to open Thailand or not? So, the promotion of the region, I think everybody wants to promote this region. This is basically the bottom line, is the government want to do it, the local government want to do it, individuals want to promote the area, and the community wants to promote, Hua Hin again. So, as you know, the test and go is almost at a go.
Yes.
Of course, my understanding is that people have to come in, book an overnight in a hotel while they wait for a test result, and then come back and book another night for a second one after 5 days. This is my understanding. Did you read that?
Yes, that's right. And Hua Hin is classed as a sandbox location, is that correct?
Well, apparently, I'm not too familiar with the sandbox thing. I think yes, it is. It's supposed to have like a corridor area within the town, but nobody's really made much of that this last few weeks. I think it's just generally waiting for this test and go to really get some tourists in.
Yeah, that's been open since from 1st of February now. Yeah. So over in the coming weeks, you'll see more. And the fact you get the sandbox, as you said, it's the first day and then the 5th day, but you have to keep within the zone. So it's just extending Phuket. My question is that can you do a transfer? Because yes, you've got the airport in Hua Hin, but you don't have international flights to Hua Hin at the moment.
Well, no, because it takes two to tango, as they say. It takes two countries to open up before you can get flights.
Yeah.
So, there was a story just this week about a guy who flew in from Europe down to Singapore and took a flight up to Bangkok. And he said there are only about 30 people on the flight between Singapore and Bangkok. So, things are well behind where I think everybody would like them to be. And as you rightly pointed out, Hua Hin Airport isn't really operating just yet. I didn't have time to check to see whether they were going to hold the concert and the various events that they had planned at the airport. There was supposed to be a concert, I think, around the 12th, but I'm really not sure whether that's going to happen now. I rather doubt it, considering that there's been a little bit of a tightening of regulations in terms of alcohol. And I think it's just an area of caution still.
What are the rules in Hua Hin just now? Are you allowed to open the restaurants and serve alcohol until 11 p.m. or is it 9 p.m. there?
Correct. Well, I think it depends on who you are. Certainly, some places are 9 and some are 11. And if you're a pub, you're not supposed to do it, so they've turned into restaurants, as we all know.
Yeah.
So, it's all still a little bit fluffy and grey and a little bit uncertain.
But people are still going out. People are still going out enjoying themselves. They're still having their holiday. So I mean, it's just slight adjustment.
I took my son out and we had dinner out at one of the little bar restaurants the other evening, and a lot of people out in town. It was very nice.
Yeah.
And they were serving up until 9 o'clock, I think, at this place. But okay, that's fine.
So
there are a lot of people around, but not as many tourists as we'd like to see.
So I see there's a push for this wellness sandbox, and they were saying that that they're aiming at foreigners, and they're spending an average of 3,276 US, or 10,000, 109,000 baht, per trip. So they're going to be targeting that. But what they were also saying is they want to make it into a medical tourism centre. But how many hospitals have you got down in that area that are to the standard of international medical, supply? I can see it as a place to recuperate, absolutely.
Well, there is one major hospital there is one public hospital, the Hua Hin Hospital, but that's not internationally. That's not a private hospital. That's the government hospital, Hua Hin Hospital. And then you've got Bangkok Hospital down here, which is the expensive private hospital. And that really is, quite excellent in many respects, apart from the price. You can hardly really walk into there and leave without spending at least 10,000, no matter what you want to do. So, you need to have your insurance for that.
Yeah, but I mean, so for medical tourism, they're coming for probably elective surgeries and things like that. Yeah, and also where they can get care, like home care.
Bangkok. Bangkok is the place for that, really, not Hua Hin. Hua Hin is really good with the Be Well Medical Center, which is a private center, where they have specialist doctors come in, and they regard themselves as kind of a 5-star GP, general practitioner service for local residents and people on vacation that need to see a doctor quickly. You can just go to Be Well here. And they've now got 2 centers, one up Black Mountain, which nobody would know about if you're a tourist, and of course the other one just around the corner here. So that is really a very good place. I recently attended a talk that Be Well put on. They had a specialist to look at things like back pain, and then they had another talk on basically colonoscopy and things like that. So they're inviting specialist doctors in to give talks to the general public and their members about medical issues, which I think is really quite interesting.
Especially as you get older. Especially as you get older, you want to know more of that. So that comes back to the point of, is Hua Hin going to try and hit the retirement people? So they moved to Hua Hin. They've got the lovely Riviera look, and then they've got the doctor around the corner. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and you have a first-class retirement home up the road here as well. The Sunshine International Retirement Home has been open for a few years. That is absolutely lovely. I mean, it's not expensive. People that are retired want a small place, a room and a kitchenette sort of thing, all in one, and you pay a month. You can buy one of these units and pay a service fee every month. It's not that expensive, and it does very, very well. And there are nurses on call 24 hours a day there for those people that are staying there. So Hua Hin has actually become quite a good centre for medical practice. Right. But I wouldn't like to see it overrun in terms of numbers.
Right. So I hear also, Buriram's famous for their racetrack, yeah, and they've got lots of people going there. And now they're looking at setting up a Pechup street circuit, yeah. So do you know anything about that? You mentioned before that there was some race that was on, and are they developing that?
Well, there was a race down in Prajdrup a couple of weeks ago. Again, that was only streamed on video because they didn't allow members of the public to go and watch because of COVID. So as a result, I didn't go down. And I'm not too familiar, but I know it was quite successful, and I know the cars looked great, and it was right along the coast road, right beside the beach. They had the cars going around there, and then around the mountain where the temple is up on the top. I know it looks spectacular, but I don't know much more about it than that.
Right. But it's just it's a good sign to see that the government are being very positive and pushing forward. They've got the right PR message. Yeah, we're on recovery basically, and by the sounds of things, people in Hua Hin, surrounding areas in Chatham, They seem to have a more positive outlook. And do you find that this COVID fear is sort of dissipating slightly, or are people becoming complacent, or what's the general feeling on it?
People still wear masks everywhere
Yeah,
here.
same in Bangkok. Yeah.
But people are going out a lot more. And I think that's really, really healthy. But as I say, we just need more tourists. And I think people are starting to come back to Thailand, those that left. If they can come back, they are coming back. But of course, the test and go has been the problem, actually just getting back into
Yeah.
the country. Because there are a lot of Europeans, for example, that own property here, that have or have not been able to get back to take care of it. So I think we'll see a trickle back over the next few months.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, is there any other things happening down in Hua Hin we should let people know about?
What else have we got? I think in the news, the police managed to second a few people that were involved with a lot of fraud. I don't know quite how. There wasn't a lot of detail in the article, but it's quite a recent news story. There's quite I think a group of 4 or 5 were arrested here, having swindled locals out of about 24 million baht and over 130 million baht being swindled, through some sort of deception online, I think, with this group. But it's very early days. They've only just been caught, and we really need to find out more about that.
Yeah, there's an awful lot of that going on just now. I mean, me being in that industry as well, especially through social media and a background of IT as well, there's an awful lot of these emails going around saying, oh, your email box is full, do this and do that. It's and also because people are with COVID, they realise that people contacting them, they're saying, oh, it's because of COVID, we can't come and see you and things. People just have to be aware that if in doubt, kick it out. And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah. Just avoid it. And no passwords over the system. I mean, the big one is DHL. It's not DHL's fault, but people scamming across DHL. You really need something as a message coming to you, and then confirm it, and they will call you, blah, blah, blah. Because, I feel sorry for some of the big companies. They've been hijacked in many ways, but it makes you very, very nervous. Yeah, that's the new criminal mode. Yeah,
I would expect to see a little bit more in terms of fraud and deception, particularly with things online, and particularly as more people do shopping online.
Yes,
and just pay for basic goods and services online, whereas they used to go down the store. Now they do it on the phone. So I think that type of thing is likely to increase. But not much news about that. On another subject, I was just reading that police in Chut Ham were called because somebody found a grenade. And they had a look at this grenade, a small grenade. They said the pin had been removed and the grenade worked. I'm just wondering how they found out that, but
well, they could only test it once. Yeah.
Well, I gather they could tell it was in good condition. So that was up in Chatham. What else has been going on? A lot of people have been down to Samroyod. You know Samroyod, just south of Hua Hin?
Yeah, I hear more and more about it. More and more. Lots of people are going down there and saying how fantastic it is.
It's a beautiful area because you've got the mountains, and if you do need to go down here, but you could drive all the way around the mountains, which are huge. Over a couple of hours it would take you to drive around, I guess, and then there's one area where they've got all these lotus flowers and lovely walks. It's not well maintained, but it just looks fabulous because of the colors of the flowers. So those are out at the moment, and a lot of people are coming down and having a little drive down there, and it's well worth it.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'll put it a little tick for where I'm going to be going in our next trip, because there was all the promotions that have gone on over the past couple of months, or more than that, maybe 3-4 months. There's been I've been to different hotels. You get the prices you've been getting are really good. Are there still big promotions down Hua Hin, or are they going back to normal prices for the hotels?
more or less back. I mean, there's always something going on, but generally, they're trying to get the prices back up again now, I think.
Right.
What else is going on? I think that's about it, really. I mean, we don't have much more going on here. Oh, yes, there's one other news story, which I think is really good, and that is that the newspaper Hua Hin today has got a new publishing editor. Well, actually, Kun Visa was the lady that was running it for many, many years on a day-to-day basis. And she has been threatening to retire for the past few years and finally did retire just at the end of last year. And so Hua Hin today have appointed Jonathan Fairfield. Now, Jonathan Fairfield worked with Thai Visa as their main newsman here in Hua Hin. They had an office here. And he's left Thai Visa and moved into Hua Hin today. And he's basically driving the direction of the newspaper down here. So It'll be interesting to see how that develops. He told me, well, we had a bit of a chat the other day, and he said he's going to make quite a few good changes. A lot more activity online, more current news is what they want to do, because there are a lot of Thai stories, stories that appear in Thai that are not translated into English. So he's going to push to get more of that done. That's good. I think he's going to really give it a bit of a good old shake-up and a bit of a facelift. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Hua Hin today develops in the next few weeks.
Well, maybe we can at some point invite him onto the show and he can explain what.
Well, let's do it. I'd be very pleased to invite him. Well, why don't we try and do that for the next time around? I'm due to see Jonathan within the next week or so anyway, so I'll see if he can come and join us for a chat.
Sounds good to me. That's good. Okay.
I think that's about it here, except that, the wind's died down a bit. It's a beautiful sunny day, and, Hua Hin is the place to be.
Okay, Richard, thanks very much for your time and all the updates. Always a pleasure. And I'll speak.
Thank you.
I'll speak to you
Good
soon.
Good to talk, Andrew.
Okay, speak to you later.
Take
Cheers.
care now. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, that was Richard Buckle in Hua Hin, and thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. And any comments, please pass some comments. Always interested to know. Or if there's anything particular you want us to cover, let us know. Thanks very much and see you later. Bye-bye.